Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make samples for someone like Toliver. And I'm going to be breaking down a sample called Prime from my last loop kit. So yeah, let's get into it. So first, here's what the sample sounds like. The first thing I started with was this guitar that I recorded, which sounds like this. And I added quite a lot of effects to this, so first thing I started with was an EQ to cut out the low end and some of the high end. Then I added a reverb, an imager to widen it up, and then lastly a delay. This delay just makes the sound a bit more unique. So without any of the effects it will sound like this. And with the effects. Now when I had this, I moved on to the counter melodies. So I like to record different counter melodies on the guitar. Some that kind of just are in the background, not as noticeable, and then some that are obviously the main melody. So the first one was this one right here. And then we have the main melody. For the effects for this, very simple, just EQ and a reverb. Now once I had this, I wanted to make the melody feel bigger. So what I did was I layered a bunch of instruments on top of the guitar melody. And these were just different one-shots that I had. So the first one was a mellotron, sounds like this. Then we had a Rhodes. We had an electric guitar. And all together it sounds like this. And you can really notice the difference when you play everything together. You will see that the melody doesn't stand out as much when we play it without these instruments. Now moving on, the next thing I recorded was a bass line, which sounds like this. Which I recorded the same way that I usually record my basses. Since I don't have a bass guitar, I record it on my guitar, and then I pitch it down an octave and add some EQ to it. So originally it sounds like this. Then I pitch it down, and then we add this EQ to cut out the high end. Lastly, I added two more things here just to kind of fill out the empty space in the sample. The first thing was this sine wave, which sounds like this. And here I used this gliding function, which you can do with one-shots, where you basically double tap on the notes, and then you press this slide button right here and click accept. This basically makes the previous note slide into the next note. And the notes that I used here were basically just the notes that were in the chord progression. And the chord progression was an A minor into D minor, then into an E7. So we used the B and the A here, the B and the C, which fit in the chord, and then the D and the C, which makes up the D minor 7, and then lastly the D and the E from the E7 chord. And for the effects for this, I added an EQ, reverb, and a panomatic. This one I used just to pan the sound from left to right. And then the other instrument we had was this piano, which sounds like this. This was actually the original melody that I used before I made any of the other stuff, and I kind of built the guitar progression around this melody. So, and then for this I added EQ, reverb, and lastly this imager, but this time I made it a lot more tight instead of wide, so it wouldn't clash with the guitar. So if you play them together, if I turn this off, you will see that they clash a bit together. Now they kind of work better together. But yeah, once we had all this, I recorded the sample out and I added some effects to the master, which the only thing I added was an OTT. And this is just like a compressor that makes it just squishes the sound together. Like if I turn it all the way up, you will see kind of what it does. And obviously you don't want to have it that harsh, but I turn it to around 14%. And then on top of that I also added this perk loop. So yeah, that's it for the sample. I will play it through one final time, and thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.